Hey, welcome back. So this weekend we're gonna go on an epic spearfishing mission, but right now I'm gonna go head up and I'm gonna meet up with Jake and we're gonna get some Tahitian river prawns. You. And if you like my new Mamjik workout shorts, check out the link in the description. Okay, I am heading to Jake's right now.
Yeah, he's overnight. Oh, cool.
Dude,
Yeah. A heron?
White herons, yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
And white herons are actually one of the only predators that eat the Tahitian prawns here, so we're on the same team. And into this super cold river water we go, and I see my first prawn, and I line up with my mini 3-prong, and as usual I miss. And I did not see that monster that was hiding in the back, but I recalibrate and go for a second shot on this guy. And this time I caught a stick. So after I spooked everything, we are moving on. And this zone is a bit deeper. This is about 10 feet deep, and I find another fatty down there. I line up on him. I have a new strategy for aiming, and this time it works out. So I got my first prawn of the day. He's a nice fat one, and I'm pretty stoked. This is really fun. But I don't float in fresh water, so I am sinking and having to kick pretty hard to stay afloat here. Jake's got the bag. He's gonna hold on to the prawns for a little while. But Jake does this all the time, as this river's right next to his house, and he gets his first prawn on his first dive of the day. We're off to a great start. And then we run into these super cool swordtails, which are these highly iridescent fish that you see in aquariums sometimes, and they are just everywhere. And since I don't float and there are more prawns on the outside than in the middle, we stick to the rocks on this outside and we start picking them off through all the cracks here. And they're a little bit difficult to see sometimes and get to, but if you're patient and find the right angle, they're pretty easy to get.
No, the waterfall here is loaded.
That big old thing. Jeez, man. Look at that.
The best way to grab these guys is by the arms.
Okay.
And then they can't pinch you if you're pinching them.
Yeah, right. Sectors.
So then we make our way over to this little overhang where there's this miniature waterfall, and you can get underneath it, and it's really spooky in there, but it's just absolutely loaded with these prawns. And I hit that guy, he gets away, but he's nice enough to give me a second shot, and I take advantage of that and put him in the bag. So I head back in for seconds, and you can see that back wall is absolutely crawling with these guys. And while I don't put the best shot into that guy, he's wounded pretty good, and it's a pretty easy backup shot.
There's so much in there. You have to get under it.
Yeah.
It's spooky.
It is spooky, man. But it's the spot. Well,
Thanks.
that was just bolted.
Yeah, I saw that.
So then I realized there's a little air pocket above the water that I can drag my snorkel across and breathe a little bit instead of holding my breath. Oh, unfortunately that guy gets away. So I go for another one, and this time I get redemption. And now that I figured out I can breathe under here, I can relax a little, and I start to catch a bit of a rhythm. But I am starting to get really, really cold.
It blew apart. They're so soft, but I'm like legit hypothermic.
Yeah.
My hands are numb.
There's like 6 of them right here.
Oh yeah? Okay. You got a mask on?
I'm having so much fun. I do get back into this cold water,
Big one.
and it's paying off for me.
Yeah,
But I
boy.
don't have a lot of time left because I can barely hold the flashlight without shaking. I'm so cold.
I'm really hypothermic right now. We're in the water for a while, so I'm just holding the bag now. Ooh, I cannot warm up.
So we'll head a little farther upstream, and it's pretty shallow, so I'm just going to follow behind Jake as he just cleans up belly sliding through this little river. So he's just gonna pick them off, reach behind, and I'm gonna put them in the bag for him. So we're making a pretty good team here, and we are just cleaning up. He's getting one about every 10 seconds or so. It's absolutely insane. If you listen close, you can hear the camera shake. I'm still so cold.
One after another. Whoa. Oh yeah, boy. Look at that thing.
And that is about all we need today. Our work here is done. Heading back.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Go all day, hours.
We're gonna get a weight on this thing. Never weighed prawns before. Oh yeah, it's over 5 pounds. Ew! Look at that. Some fresh cold water in there. Good size of that arm. Whoa. That thing's a lobster. It's not a prawn.
Yeah, we just want to make sure that we get like any leaves, any like noticeable things off, and then they go in the bag.
Oh yeah, don't lose the finger in there. Look at the size of that thing. Look at that razor blade on their head.
So these are super invasive here, and they're brought in as a food source, of course, and they're all throughout all these streams here, especially on Big Island, and they really compete with the opai, which is the native Hawaiian shrimp, which is quite small, and then the oopu, which is should be the state fish of Hawaii, and which is the fish that can climb up the waterfalls.
Oh,
so here,
cool.
since we're close to shore, we have the species that gets quite long, and they're apparently really good eating. In my opinion, we're on the same team, but then the higher up you go, the smaller they get. And then they also eat like all the like snails and other native stuff in our waters, and so I think it's really good to just take these guys out. Plus, they're super tasty. So.
Yeah, we're gonna eat all of those.
Yeah.
That was super fun, man.
Oh, dude, awesome! It's the most fun. It should be illegal to have that much fun.
All right, I got the truck packed, and it is a little rainy and cold out here today, but feeling pretty good. I'm gonna head up and go meet up with Jake and Alex. We're gonna go for a little adventure, and I'll just see what rolls in out there. It's been a long time since we've been on this coast, so we're pretty excited to get back out there. All right, heading over, go jump in the water in this wild spot again. I'm pretty excited about that, but this is just one of those days where it's rainy, it's cold, and I'm tired, and I don't always feel like getting my adventure mode on, but I do it anyway, because there's kind of this mentality of at the end of your life, all you have is your story. That's it. That's all you got. So for me, I just want a really cool story, and I get to play the main character, and that's pretty awesome. So I just always ask, what would the main character of my story do in this situation, and do that. And a lot of times it's very uncomfortable or painful or scary or a lot of work and effort, but that's just the cost of doing cool stuff, but it's always worth it in the end. I don't know, food for thought. Well, it is starting to clear up as I get closer to Jake's, and that's good. The water looks a little bit sketchy, but you know, we're down for an adventure today, so it could be pretty exciting out there. Oh yeah! Oh, no more rain over here.
Good.
All right.
Hey,
Yeah.
we're gonna get a marlin today. I showed up earlier than you did.
Alex shows up early.
First time ever. Not too bad. Yeah, it doesn't look bad.
There were so many things that just like didn't come.
It's not that sketchy.
All right.
our gear. Whoa! Again, another one. Yeah. Oh my god, dude. Hell, it was even worse.
Had some weight behind it.
Whew. What are we doing?
We're so stupid.
All right, and against our better judgment, we are in, for better or worse, and we swim out here and head down for the first drop of the day, about the mid-40s or so, and just get an idea what the fish are doing and what the water's doing today. There's a fat munu come in, check me out. It'll be a great fish to start my day, looking around for anything else, just getting the lungs warmed up and trying to relax out here. And then munu comes back for seconds. He's really curious. I gave him a little spook there, but if I'm patient enough, I think I can get him to come back. So I'm not going to chase him with a gun. I'm going to let him come back to me when he feels more comfortable. It'd be a great way to start this day if I can land that munu. So I'm going to go for it. First fish, first drop. Bang. Gives me the shot I'm looking for. Heading back up. And it's not very often that you get a fish on your first drop, but it does help take the pressure off the rest of the day, helps me relax a little more. And on Jake's first drop, he gets this tank munu too. So now we're all feeling pretty confident, so we decide to punch it out a little bit deeper, and we're about 60 feet here too, and the farther out we go, the more we get away from that horrendous swell, and it calms down a little bit. So we're a little bit more relaxed out here, even if it's a little bit less fishy. But because I already have a munu, I'm only going to limit myself to 3 of any one species in a day, so I'm going to be more selective with my munus from here on out. I'm not trying to take all of them off the reef. If they're not big enough, I won't take them. So there's a couple smaller ones back there. It's pretty fishy, but nothing I'm really looking for. I'm just going to try to get warmed up at this depth a little bit and see if anything comes in. But right now, I'm not seeing a whole lot in this spot. Just still warming up and getting comfortable. I line up on that guy, but he's not quite the size I'm looking for, so I let him go, and I'm going to head back up to get some air. And then on Jake's next drop, he comes up with this absolute tank of a moo.
Nice one, my dude.
I'm stoked. Man, I'm done.
Yes.
I don't need anything else.
Woo! He came right in?
Dude, yeah, there's tons of them.
So if you heard Jake there, he said there's tons of them down here. So we're in a new spot. We're a little farther out. We're a little over 70 feet here, and there are moo everywhere. Some are too small to shoot for sure, but there's some pretty big ones in the background that are definitely worth our while. So I give them a little squid hand there. They're showing some interest, but they're not really coming in. So I'm going to try to close the gap, crawl across the reef a little bit underneath these boulders so they don't see me, and see if I can sneak up on them. Very slowly lift my gun up. He's about the right size, so I'm going to go for that guy. But I overcompensated for the distance, and I aimed just a touch high and grazed his back. Oh, so shame, but it happens. But I shake it off, I recollect myself, and I go down to try it again. I'm feeling a little bit more relaxed. I know I just got to be patient. I have the spoon in my hand now for flasher, dust a little bit, and throw a couple grunts. And they're coming back in. I don't think I spooked them that bad, but they're still pretty wary, and I know they're not going to come in here. So I'm going to have to go for another lunge. So I get them as close as I can. I find out which one I'm going for, and I'll very slowly and smoothly start to pull myself across this reef so I can get a much closer shot on them and get them within range. They're on to me though. They can tell what I'm doing and they start moving away immediately. I'm not going to be able to close that gap, so I'm just not going to waste this dive. I'm going to head up, get some air, and try it again. So after a really long, nice, relaxing breathe up, I find a really good spot to land in here next to this boulder, guide myself gently into the reef, making no noise. I lay my fins flat on the reef, completely shut all my muscles down, and look straight down. Because moo are looking for your eyes. They want to see your eyes, and if they can't see them, they will come in to check you out. So I try to keep my head down and scratch and keep my gun flat on the reef. I don't want to look like a predator down here. I want them to be interested in me and have them come to me as best I can. There's a couple nice fish around, but I'm really focused on these moo, so I give him that tantalizing squid hand and see if he's into that. They seem to like that. Not enough to come in, So I know I'm gonna have to close that gap, give him another wave, grab a handhold here on that rock and pull myself forward. And after the one in the back, the little one spooks. That didn't quite do it, so I'm gonna have to do another lunge here. I'm on a really good position here and he stops. He gives me the shot I'm looking for, broadside. I take my time and I put the right shot into him this time. Closing that gap, I got him. I know I got him, it's a good shot, so I'm gonna take him up with me. I relax on the way up. I'm just gonna get there when I get there. This was a really long dive, so I'm not gonna try to rush for the surface and panic. And then Alex comes down, meets me, makes sure I'm okay, as any good dive partner should. These guys are just awesome. Use my hand a little bit to help me to the surface, and I recovered just fine.
2 minute.
He's not my biggest moo ever, and he's not as big as Jake's, but I'm pretty stoked about him. Plenty big enough for today. Yes, sir.
Well, there was like 3 approaches.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it was tough. It ain't no Jake size, but I'm happy with it.
Grab, pull, grab.
Oh, jeez, man. I was like, come on.
That's such a long shot. Like, I saw you shoot. I was like, where did he miss? And then I saw it like glint, like way over there. Oh my god!
Yeah, it took all of my efforts to get him. Oh well. Whew.
So we're going to be hanging out in this 70 to 75 foot zone most of today. And for better or worse, we're finding some really strange structure, and it's really cool. Sometimes it's holding fish and sometimes it's not. We're not seeing a lot of trophies out so far, but I just need to get some food for today, and for the amount of effort that we're putting into it, I don't really want to come up with nothing. So this time I'm just going to take what I can get, and there's a lot of really nice invasives around. There's some ta'apes everywhere. There's a couple toaus. I'm just waiting for the right one. I don't want to take a tiny fish, so I'm just scanning around for the right one. Over here there's a school of ta'apes that rolls through there. Nothing quite big enough, but there is a toau in there. I think I'm going to grab him. He gives me the right shot, and I ended up stoning him right through the brain. So not a wasted dive, coming up with some meat and taking an invasive off the reef. What's up? And while he's not my biggest one, these blacktail snapper are fantastic eating.
I forgot how to spearfish for a
Nice move, yeah, nice shot.
And then on Alex's next dive, he comes up with this really nice moo.
Yeah, man, nice one. Great shot. Patient? Yes. Oh
I know you guys feel like water, but like every part of my surfing brain watching, I was like, this is a terrible idea.
This is smart. We can handle the current. Yeah, it's gonna be a long swim, but it's gonna be a better way to get out.
I think it'll be fun. I think just kind of.
I'm down.
It's a choose your suffering, and I think this is safer suffering.
This is safer, man. That's so dangerous. All right, here we go. Long swim.
So we realized at this point that we are not going to be able to get out of the water the way we got in. It's just way too dangerous, so we have to swim a mile down the coast or more.
Take a drop here, because normally what happens is the energy comes and it refracts and it's going to push up a lot of the stuff. I think this is a good spot to take a drop.
I think you're right. Yeah, I'm down.
So like Alex was just saying, it seems like a really fishy spot, and those guys were kind enough to give me the first drop in this zone. And there's a really nice munu there right away. And I only had one so far, so I'm due for a second one, and he's big enough. And I'm chasing him around, and he does not like that. So I'm going to try to position my gun in a place where he's going to pass in front of it, just like this. Another stone shot. Nice munu, one of my favorite fish. And heading back up. Thank you guys for that drop. Really appreciate that. And no matter what my situation is, I'm always watching my lines and making sure nothing ever gets tangled. I distract myself by putting my spoon back away, and it helps me relax on the way back up.
Fishy. It's fishy, yep.
Look how beautiful and healthy the fish are on this coast. And here's Alex coming up from the mid-70s with something on the line. Let's see what he's got. An absolutely beautiful fat Moana Kali, one of the best goat fish out there.
Yeah, no, that's a stud.
Look at that.
Nice shot. That was fun.
That was your second, like, sitting on your butt shot.
Yeah, it was fun to watch.
That was actually a good school. I had to turn around and it was like, I just had Zane in my head going, go slow, go slow.
Beautiful fish, man.
We're earning it today.
Sure are. Look at that cooey. Fortune favors the stupid. That's our motto.
So we've been out here for a few hours and we've been kicking for a while and we're getting pretty battered by the swell and current and we still have a long ways to go. So I want my third Munu. This guy seems big enough and he's going to give me the right shot, so I'm going to capitalize on this opportunity. He gives it to me, tries to swim off. I get my fin stuck in the rocks, which is always a little bit scary, but it releases. The line gets stuck. I give it a couple tugs and the flopper releases off the reef, which is great. So now I have my third Munu. I got plenty of fish for the day because we have a long swim to go. I'm feeling pretty stoked about that. And I give it the old behind the back pass for style points there as I pull this Munu up to the surface. Another beautiful fish on the cooey. Now I didn't catch it on camera, but there was a really nice omilu that was swimming around and I threw my flasher and dove down after it, and it's a really fishy zone, so I was hoping to get one more really nice fish today, but I had to take another drop and come check them out. There's some nice munus around too, but I already have enough munus today, and there are some dinner plate sized kois there too. If I had a 3-prong, it would be a different mission, but didn't get what I'm after, so I'm heading back up. Then as we continue our long mission back, we run into this super cool crag structure that seems to be holding a lot of fish, and it's got some really cool pukas in it we want to go check out. So Jake takes a drop on it and he comes up with this amazing giant nohu. What an incredible fish, super rare.
No way. We were just talking about that.
Said it on the rock.
You said
it on the rock.
No way, man.
Oh, yeah.
Jake is on fire today. Yeah.
This one's for you, baby. Sick, man.
Oh, just matches your
fish.
Oh, that's a fish.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that fish.
How'd you see him? Did he move?
Oh, I just got laser eyes, man. I've been looking at Alex all day. I'm used to it.
Wow.
I actually went down because I thought I saw a taco.
Ah.
And then, so my spidey senses were tingling. And then I saw him.
So
He was,
where are you not supposed to grab those? It looks like you just don't grab it anywhere.
don't grab it anywhere.
The top spike said the
I'm
anal
just going to
pin.
leave it on my spear for the rest of the day. Like,
Dude, it's dangerous.
and like,
They're incredible eating.
yeah, they're just the best.
So then Alex goes down to investigate that puka that looks like it's man-sized, and we might be able to do a swim through, we'll see. And he says you can see light through it, so it might be doable, but we're going to approach it from underneath so I don't get stuck upside down in that one. So I'm down here about 60 feet, and as I'm coming into this cave, it's always really scary approaching a swim through for the first time, but right away I see it's plenty big enough, there's plenty light, I feel confident, so I'm going to go for it. And I don't really know where it's leading, but I'm going to make sure I come out alive for my first attempt through here. Pretty easy swim through, super cool. They're always really fun. Some fish are looking at me like they've never seen a human before, but I'm not hunting right now. I'm just playing. And those guys are a little spooked right now because I didn't come out of the puka that I was supposed to, so I have to yell and wave and let them know that I came out just fine. And while that swim through would have made a great last dive of the day, we still had a long ways to go, and we're in a zone that I've always wanted to explore, and I just wouldn't feel satisfied unless I took another drop and just checked it out and got to see for myself what's down here. It's super bouldery, there's a lot of fish out. We're still in the low to mid 70s, so it's a little bit deep and we're exhausted. Jake already threw up on the surface, Alex is toasted. I'm not feeling great, but I just had to do one more today to see what's down here. But nothing really worthwhile on this dive, so now we have to commit to our exit.
On the trip, Bill.
Oh, whoa. This is pretty rough out here. What are we doing?
Stormy today.
This is not our best idea.
Not our best. Jump first.
We really didn't.
Figure it out later.
We really didn't think that through.
No. I went through a little laugh. Yeah, it was really tough. I didn't really understand the scope of how far the swim was.
Oh, yeah, I drank my share of salt water today. Oh, man.
So after a couple arduous hours against current and that chop and swell, we make it back to this familiar zone. And while it is super sketchy and harrowing, we are familiar with this place enough to know how to get out of here. And it is shallow and it can be a little bit tough. I grab Alex's flasher and spoon that he dropped on the way out. We make it out just fine, thankfully. Now we have a very long walk back.
We did it. We survived. Barely.
Just a couple miles on the coast.
That was brutal. Now we got a long walk back. Brutal. It's a lot harder when you're dehydrated and emaciated. I've been swimming for 5 hours and hiking for an hour. Woo!
Right, that's what's up.
All right, we did it. We're out. We survived. That was the most harrowing mission I've had in a while, but it worked out really well. We still had a lot of fun. Got some good fish. Learned a lot, and the gear is already clean, so that's awesome. So I'm just gonna head home and set up for that cook later. Oh, nice. All I have to do is just put it away. Ooh, that's a pile of meat for a pretty rough day out there. I think I just got more mosquito bites than any human has ever gotten, but I survived. I think I still have some blood left. All right, so we're just gonna start with some rice. I don't think you need a tutorial on cooking rice. I'm not that good at it, but we're gonna start there. All right, Danny and Maggie showing up, having dinner. I haven't seen these guys in a little while. So we got prawns from the river left over the other day. So we're gonna start by shucking those and we'll go from there. Yeah. Check out that guy. It's like a lobster. So we're just gonna bust the tail off.
Dude, that's crazy.
That. And then we're just gonna pull that meat out of there. And we're gonna make a little slit in the back and we're gonna pull the vein out. There you go, just like that.
Chompers on that thing. Oh.
Really big arms. We can take the big knuckle off. Pull that meat out just like a lobster. There we go. All shelled up there. So now we're gonna start the veggies. We got a carrot. We're gonna shred that up there. Right. Carrot. I'll do onion. Alright, so I cut them the long way. Spears. Specifically for this. I just think they taste a lot better. They have a better texture for what we're gonna use them for. You can do them any other way you want to, but I like them that way. And shiitake mushrooms. And some garlic. All right, and as usual, we're gonna add a fat slab of butter to that hot pan. So we're gonna let that heat up there. All right, that butter's hot and browned. We're gonna throw all the veggies in there. Yow! So we're just gonna let these cook in the butter until they're a little bit cooked down, and then we're gonna add some white wine. All right, we're gonna crack open this wine. Mix. And we got some coconut milk we're gonna throw in there too. All right, we're gonna start with a little bit of thyme. Throw some rosemary in there. Some garlic salt. Black pepper. Cayenne pepper. Touch of cumin. And ginger. Now we're gonna turn this down to low. And we're gonna let that low simmer for a little while. So I'm just going to chop these up into smaller pieces. So we can throw these into there. Nothing fancy, just smaller pieces. Really, really easy. All right, now we're gonna take all this munu, we're gonna do the same thing. We're just gonna cut these up into smaller pieces so we can throw all these together and cook them up. Let them simmer. All right, now we're gonna throw the fish in first because that's gonna take a few minutes longer because the shrimp's cooked in just like 10 seconds. Just stir these in and we'll give those a little while to simmer. Oh yeah. So that's just about done. I'm gonna get some rice in these bowls. We'll throw those shrimps in there and we're gonna eat. Yeah, all right, we'll add these in here. Give it a quick stir and we're done. Oh man, how does that smell? So good. Yeah, that's amazing. Right. I was worried I didn't make enough.
Oh my god.
I think I made enough. Good mix. What's up? Yeah, we did it. Yeah, and these guys brought a local salad, all local, organic, fresh ingredients. Megan made a flourless chocolate cake, didn't you? You! Homemade dressing. What's up?
Looks really good. Is it like an Italian?
Spicy garlic, kind of like honey mustard style.
Okay.
Oh, awesome. All right. We did it. Thanks for coming, guys.
Yee.
Cheers. And cheers.
Cheers. Cheers for it.
So, unfortunately, my camera died right there. It was such a long day. I didn't realize it was low on battery and I forgot to charge it. And we were so busy eating that awesome food that we didn't really feel like waiting for the camera to charge. So I missed the reaction, but it kind of looks something like this.